Okay.
I think we are online.
Digo, en el YouTube dice 1 minuto. Ya.
Yeah, we're online. Okay, so hello, good night, Vancouver. Today we're gonna talk about DTLA, the newest art book publication by Francisco Javier Ramirez. He's one of our oldest and greatest collaborators in OMG Press. This is your what third
My third.
designed, fully edited by you publication, right?
Yeah, with my work, yeah, and then we've done other things with other artists. But yeah, that's my third one. Yeah, that we've done. What should I talk about?
Yeah, please start telling us. I'm gonna put the chat over here so we can start answering some questions. Why don't we start from the very beginning? Tell us about DTLA. Please give us a brief think of what we are going to see in the book. I'm gonna showcase it to you in a while, but if you want to start talking and maybe I start flipping some pages, or tell us what to do.
Yeah. Okay. So DTLA, it started during quarantine, and it was like I had a lot of time and I just wanted to like do a lot of work, and I had these photos that I had been holding on to since 2010 when I lived in LA for the last time, and they were always like in the back of my mind. And it was this day that I went to downtown LA, and I had been living in LA. I had lived there when I was in middle school, and then I was there again after high school for a semester in college. And it always felt very foreign, and I had like a very complicated relationship to the place for, you know, like my family reasons. And that day I went to an open casting to American Apparel, and I didn't make the casting because I was actually very late. And I decided to like walk around, and I started like looking into the city and seeing all the buildings. And it was like the only time when I was there that it felt like I could make it a home for myself, that I felt related. And like all those years since middle school that I spent in Mexico City, and I had really like come to terms with my own self, and like started like learning more about myself and just getting a sense of my identity. Then I finally could sense that LA could be a home again. And then soon after that, I was like, my dad kicked me out of his house, so I was going back to Mexico City. So, but that day I remember like walking around the downtown area and just like feeling very connected to that place. And it was like a very magical moment. And then during quarantine, I've heard like a lot of people kind of like went back to like their youthful years. And I kind of had a sense. I was like watching TV, and like it was a show, and they were like in downtown LA, and I realized that that place, that like at that moment, um, I felt that connection, and it was like very strange. It was never going to be the same because it had changed. It had been 10 years, and I had changed, and the place had changed. And even when I go back to LA, it's not going to be the same place that I like almost knew. And then like in those 45 minutes, I felt connected to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went back that day, that night, and I went on Google Maps, and I went to like those same places I started at, the American Apparel factory, that is now like a mall. And then I went to the Disney Music Hall, and so like I looked on the map like all those same buildings, and looked at the photos that I had taken 10 years ago, and like went to those same places and took more photos through Google Maps. And so it's like the trip that I took, those 45 minutes walking, and those places that I saw. And I guess like that mindset of like yearning for this place that no longer exists, and like me at that moment, so it like really captures a moment in my life. And this amazing place. And I feel like it's like the images are very beautiful, and it's just like
Yeah, it's
and just like
almost interesting for me to look at it when we started to work with the book. That this
mhm.
absence of people, even though you are in one of the most crowded,
Yes,
most noisy cities in the U.S., you somehow managed to
yeah,
actually give us this weird, like post-apocalyptic now COVID time, but even before it was the thing,
yeah.
like being in the lockdown or being held at home. So for me, it's very amazing how you were able to put all these things together. And I mean, I don't know if many or most of the people that are going to buy the book are going to be actually from LA or have been to LA. But I think that it's a very interesting route, because it's not this um, touristic, very cheesy point of view.
Yeah,
It's rather the like just a trip, like you were saying, from maybe a bad day or maybe a bad time at the moment, but you somehow manage to make it
it's a bad time,
a
but also
logbook,
yeah,
right? Like you make a bad situation turn into a very positive and beautiful thing. So I think that's
it is.
pretty.
Yeah, it's definitely like me taking that moment and turning like those bad memories and taking like the most beautiful moment that I had and like really focusing on that and being able to like draw those memories back into like a positive thing. And that's also kind of like why the cover of it is like this drawn on thing. And I decided to like include like a letter where like I'm describing what happened. So there's like this little short story of like everything that was happening, and to give like context to the images. And I just, it's like me making those old memories into like a new memory,
Yeah.
like a happy moment. I'm just like really holding on to like that happy moment. And yeah, it's really interesting, like you said, there's, even though it's like a really big city, there's no people on the photos. It's like an empty city.
Yeah, it's weird because
So yeah,
I'm
it's really
browsing it
interesting.
and it's, uh, I mean, this is one of my favorites with the whole story of
Yeah,
American Apparel. And I don't know, even though the photos are from 10 years ago, I believe that they have so
yeah,
much resonance today. Because I mean, we've been in lockdown
they
since
do.
March. So basically, this has become our life, that thing that you saw 10
Yeah,
years ago. So it's a
being
bit
locked down.
creepy,
Yeah,
actually.
it really, yeah, it really captures like the feeling of quarantine. And I guess it was the moment that I made it. So it kind of like captures that essence of what I was feeling like 10 years ago and now today. And yeah, I decided like those images were I just made through like a digital handheld camera. And when I turned them into black and white, because like they were in color originally, they really like had that impactful um, appearance. I feel like they really gained a lot by turning them into black and white. And
Yeah, I
yeah,
think that that's also a very accurate decision because I believe that
mm-hmm.
once it became like a halftone pattern or grayscale thing, it can
Mm-hmm.
also give us a sense of like an ageless image, although it's
Yes,
10 years ago, when you get a way of color, we actually develop an image that could work for 10 years ago, 2020, probably
yeah,
2030, right? So I think that speaking
mm-hmm.
specifically in photographic terms, I believe that your body of work has developed. I mean, we've met each other for quite some time now, so we've been working together
Mm-hmm.
quite a lot. And I think that
Yeah,
I see in this product a new way of approaching to a new narrative, and I think that's very exquisite, And
mm-hmm.
I don't
Mm-hmm.
know if you can tell us a little bit about how we work together to actually have it here in my hands. I'm in Mexico City. You are in New York City. Now we are
I am in New York. Yeah,
speaking for Vancouver and the world, so you can walk us through that crazy WhatsApp
crazy things. Well,
communication.
I think, well, since we made like with OMG our first scenes, I mean, I've been in the US and you've been in Mexico, so it's kind of just like a continuum of like that same work practice that we've had. And that couldn't happen years ago, but it's just great. Yeah, we talk on WhatsApp all the time, and then I send you everything, and you have it printed in Mexico. I send all the files, and I also have like some communication with
The printers.
Sarah, who printed them. Yeah,
We'd like to say,
and they made a great work.
please, we're gonna put Sara, which are the guys that printed this thing for us. Their social media. They are the best guys for printing whatever you want to do. They don't have any troubles if you are here in Mexico, if you are in the US, if you are in whatever country you are. These guys really know how to uh, ground your projects. They give you right, like, oh fuck, I just lost my English now.
What?
They give great advice in
You're
terms
right.
of what you want to do. They are always up to listen you up, and then they give you some feedback. Like I believe they help us a lot trying to figure out the paper because you choose rather rare paper.
Yeah,
It's a gray
I wanted
paper.
it. It's a great paper. Yeah, I wanted it to be gray instead of white. I wanted it to have like less contrast, and kind of also because it's like a fading memory, but it's also something that it's like changing, and I wanted to like really model the past and the present and have them both combined. So it's like those, I'm mixing both images from 10 years ago and then the ones that I made through Google Maps, which are not only from today, but there's like that one image that you were just holding out with the cars that are kind of like ghostly. It's actually like an image on Google Maps from 10 years ago. So it's actually from 2010. So
Yeah,
like that same place when I was there 10 years ago, like that image is from there. And then those new images that I made through Google Maps are like capturing uh, those 10 years, because a lot of them are from different years. So I really do think that like that essence of like timelessness was captured. And I feel like that's the way that I think of my memory, is kind of like you see the past, but through your mindset of today. So even whatever you think about is always through the way you think right now.
yeah, and I
And I
think
feel like
it's a
that,
very good thing that you actually end up having it as a book. Because the thing that we were saying, that since it's going to become
mm-hmm,
and it's already timeless, once you have it as a
yeah,
printed material, it can last forever. You know, it's
mm-hmm,
like we take a look
yeah,
at the
I,
drawings from Rembrandt or the early photographs from the 19th centuries, and those things are made on paper, or the final product is on paper, and they are still there for over years and years to
mm-hmm,
come, right? So we also have a surprise, right?
right,
In the back of the book, you will find this very cute gray envelope,
envelope.
and then we're gonna
Yeah.
have a couple of
So
prints, right? Like
of
tell us
stickers.
stickers,
Yeah,
so you will be able to personalize your own art book. I don't know, maybe the one with the windows, so
exactly.
you're gonna stick it. You're gonna have like your very own take into your memories.
Exactly. You build like your own memory. You decide what's the cover and what you make of it. And
Or
it's
maybe
kind of like
this
a notebook
one.
also, with like the spiral
Yeah,
bounding. You get to choose what memory you take from this trip that you're taking through downtown LA when you're watching or when you're flipping through the book. Um, so yeah.
so
And
I would like to know how it was for you to engage with Rizzo. I mean, this is your personal second publication working with
yeah,
Rizzo,
with
but
risograph, yeah.
I would love to see or that if you were able to share us, how was it for you as a photographer that you are
Hmm.
like canonically used to work with high definition. You want to make things happen in higher resolutions, high quality papers, high quality pigments. So what happened once you translate all your work into Riso? What can you tell us about that?
Yeah. So like specifically with this one, well, first I started just like as an exercise, and I kind of like wanted to do something that I could do myself and like maybe print at home. And then when I talked to you, you were like, oh, we should like do it and like print it on Riso. And like once I knew that it was going to be like printed in risograph, then I really wanted to like take advantage of that. And like with the black and white, and risograph gives you like this really grainy texture.
Hmm.
And I think like it goes really well with this images. And again, with like that kind of like aging image. And and I feel like that's like in this case specifically, it works out really well, and giving it like more like emotion or more
Like I
like
think
how to
it really
even
pops out the aesthetics of it. You know, like you actually
mm-hmm.
work in a very let's say it new medium for many of us as printmakers or art creators. Because I mean,
Yeah.
even though this machine it's been there for ages, I think that we're living right now
Mm-hmm.
a new like a new coming, you know, and it's very
Yeah, it
amazing
is.
the way you can actually translate what we were saying, high definition or these photographs into these new
Yeah.
objects.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's not giving you like high definition, but I think it's like taking advantage of the fact that it's not giving you high definition,
Yeah,
and
it gives you this
like
grainy
exploring.
texture that actually
Mm-hmm.
works better for photographs. You know, it brings you back to those analog times. You know, and I think that's a
Yeah,
very
it does
interesting
kind of give
quality.
you like a vibe of like a an older technique, but it is a good quality, and I think that's the part of it, like knowing that it's not going to give you like the biggest details, but that like the content needs to reflect that and like take advantage of like this vibe that it's going to give you of like being old and um yeah, like blurry kind of,
The
but it's
the,
not
the
that good
thing
because
is
it's defined, but it's
the thing
very
is
noisy.
it's it gives you this noise like this grain texture,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
it's very amazing once you put like a augmented lens or something into it. You can actually feel how
Yeah, you can see.
or see how it was printed. And I believe that's I mean on
Mm-hmm.
the printing side of it, I think it gives you more
Mm-hmm.
material to work with rather than thinking that printing in Riso reduces the quality. You know, I think it's just a new opportunity to explore how you can
Yeah,
actually
expand
develop
it's
images in a different
yeah, yeah, how you can see
media.
the images in this new way. And then when you're like on this one, I'm using just one color,
Yeah.
but when you're using more than one color, like I also like having both of them mixing
Hmm.
together like gives another quality if you're doing like duotone, and the way that they might have like um this fase, like I don't know, like
Like an
maybe
overlapping, you
they're
know?
not like
They
an
use they
overlap. Yeah.
tend to overlap
Mm-hmm.
the colors, and then you have this third color that builds up from the juxtaposition of two, and then you have a third color if you
Yeah.
select a different paper, right? So basically, you can have
Yeah.
a very wide color range, like a tonal
Mm-hmm.
range. Sorry, within just two colors, and I think that's beautiful also.
And also like it's the same as like screen printing. You can print on any color paper,
Yeah.
and it like the ink doesn't penetrate the paper, it's like on the surface. So that also is something that you can take advantage of. Like the same, like I decided to do a gray paper, you can print on any color, and then that gives you even more depth into like photographs. And I think with like Sara or like La Duplicadora that you were yesterday talking with them, they do that with like their Twin Peaks series. They print on different color papers, and so you
Mm-hmm.
get like two tones, even if you're just using one ink.
Yeah, and
Um,
that gives you a
and
game
also,
changer, right?
yeah, it changes the aspect. And the other thing that I love about Riso is like, since the ink, well, it's not ink, it's yeah, whatever it is. It doesn't it stays on the surface of the paper. So actually, when you touch it, like it stays on your hand. It never like completely dries up. So like that's really interesting.
Yeah,
And like
it
especially
brings you
like
back
thinking
to
with
those old printing process, you know? Like
yeah,
there's also a smell on the ink since it's
sewing,
soy-based
yeah.
ink. It smells quite different. It's very translucent. So basically, your
Mm-hmm.
photos add a lot of new levels of light and shades. You know, once we saw the first or the early stages on PDF, it was very amazing. But once we have it actually printed, it's like it's mind blowing for me. I mean, this one is one of my favorites, and
That image.
just to see how much detail you have in these areas, the ones that are
Mm-hmm.
like with I don't know, like a
Yeah,
half gray, half white, half black. It's
yeah.
amazing.
It does give you like a lot of tones, like
Yeah,
color
exactly.
tones. Yeah,
Hmm.
definitely. Mm-hmm. Tonalities.
So this
Um,
beautiful
yeah.
publication is gonna be up in our Instagram page, where you can purchase it on our website. You can purchase it directly with Francisco. We're gonna put on the description his Instagram, our Instagram, the page. You can keep following up with the presentations from Vancouver Art Book Fair. We would like to say thank you very much to Vancouver for that one. I think it's a very uh, powerful thing, the thing that they just did last week, because it's very hard to put on a virtual fair. It's very hard to put on an actual fair. So I think we have a very great weekend, everyone that attended. I don't know if you want to make some announcements, some something. And you might want to say goodbye and or hello or kisses or whatever. To you got like 1 billion
Hello. Best
family members in the
one.
chat for you. Everyone is saying that they love you,
Sí,
that
todo.
you got a very
A
interesting
todos los quiero
project,
mucho.
great photos. If you want, we can switch
Sí.
very briefly to Spanish, so you could actually say thanks properly.
Or Mexican spectators.
Yeah, our Mexican spectators.
Sí,
So
no, pues
do it.
gracias a todos por vernos. Aunque es muy tarde en la Ciudad de México, pero aquí están todos. Muchas gracias. Un beso a todos.
Pues nada, muchas gracias,
Pero
Paco.
sí.
Es una publicación súper chingona. Espero que puedan adquirir la suya. Contáctenos. La verdad es que
Ujú.
es un material
Sí,
súper
sigan a
lindo.
OMG.
Síganos en OMG Press, por favor, denos like. Please subscribe. Please follow us on Instagram,
Like and
Twitter,
subscribe.
Twitch, every single freaking social media that
Every
exists.
platform.
We're gonna be there sooner or later. Thank you so much, Paco. It's been great working with you. Let's hope we still have. We're gonna keep doing these things, right? I mean, we have like a
We're
nice
gonna
way
keep
to.
doing this.
Yeah,
It's only the beginning. Sí, exacto.
it's only the
Yeah, no, we've
beginning.
been working really
Exactly.
great, and
Yeah.
there's
Thank you
more
so much
publications coming. And
for all that you've been doing for us. I mean, you don't know it, but he's also our designer and advisor for everything that we are trying to do and pursue.
editor, designer.
You
See,
actually
and check out
designed
the other things that we've
and
done.
edited this one, right? You are the one that
Yeah, design,
you made
edited,
this one, and
did the
also
photographs,
Jingle,
everything. I did it all.
everything.
We did Jingle with Majo. I did another one last year with the
For Eusebio
Sonnet
Peña.
116, and then the Burning Bush with Eusebio Peña. Yeah, so we'll keep making more.
Yeah.
So that'll be. This is the beginning, exactly.
This is the
Let the
beginning.
music play.
Let the music play. Yeah. So thank you very much. Good night. Thank you all from Vancouver Art Book Fair. This is our last presentation.
Yeah, thank you, Vancouver.
We
Thank you,
enjoyed
everyone.
the whole month. It's been a crazy thing to actually put these things together. But we're so happy. We've learned so much. We're going to keep doing these things better and better. Once again, I'd like to say thank you to my ingeniero Chango. He's a friend. He made this whole connection and wiring possible. So thank you so much. Thanks to the family.
Thank
Thanks
you,
to
Chango.
everyone at OMG Press. Thank you so much, Paco, for your time. What an amazing book you just
Thank you,
made.
Abraham.
Let's keep printing things, printing and smiling.
Yeah. Printing, self-publish, be happy.
Self-publish, be happy. Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone.
Okay.
Goodbye. Good night.
Bye. Good night. Ya, nos vamos.